Kala's weapon never wavered. The old man paid it no attention. His eyes remained fixed on Orianthi. He studied her quietly, almost gently, as though searching for something beneath the face he remembered. "You survived." His voice carried no surprise, only quiet satisfaction. Orianthi frowned. "You know me?" A faint smile returned. Of course. The certainty in his answer unsettled her more than any threat could have. "I don't know you." "No." The old man inclined his head slightly. "I suspected you wouldn't." Kala stepped forward. "Who are you?"
His expression remained calm. "You don't belong here." Kala kept the weapon trained on him. "I asked you a question." The old man regarded her briefly, then returned his attention to Orianthi. "You've changed." Something stirred beyond Orianthi's memory. Not an image, not a voice, a feeling. The certainty that this man had once stood over her, correcting her, teaching her. It vanished before she could grasp it. She stepped back without meaning to. "So, even my face has become a stranger?" Orianthi struggled to answer. "I wish..." She stopped. "I wish I remembered." "You will. It isn't gone." He touched his temple. "It has merely been buried." Kala glanced at Orianthi. "You really don't know him?" Orianthi never looked away from the old man. "No." The old man lowered his hand. "They took more from you than I feared." Kala's grip tightened. "Who took it?" He didn't answer. Instead, he took a slow step forward. Not toward Kala, toward Orianthi. She stiffened. Kala immediately raised the weapon higher. "That's close enough." He stopped. His eyes remained on Orianthi. "No need to be afraid." "I'm not afraid." "No." A small smile returned. "You rarely were." Another fragment stirred. A room filled with white light. A voice telling her to begin again. The impression of hands guiding hers across something she could no longer see. Then nothing. Orianthi drew a sharp breath. The old man noticed. "There." He spoke softly. "You felt it." "I felt nothing." "You were never good at lying to me." Orianthi stared at him. Kala noticed the change in her face. "What happened?" Orianthi shook her head. "I don't know." "You don't need to force it." Kala lowered her weapon a fraction. "Then tell her." His attention shifted to Kala. "Tell her what?" "Who you are." "My name," he paused, "isn't important." "It is to us." "No." His eyes returned to Orianthi. "What matters is that she came back." Orianthi frowned. "I didn't come back." The old man's smile remained, but something behind it changed. "No. I didn't know this place existed." Silence settled over the chamber. For the first time since awakening, his certainty faltered. Only slightly, but enough for Kala to notice. He studied Orianthi again. Longer this time. Not as someone waiting for her to remember. As someone reconsidering what had been done to her. "You entered the city without knowing what it was?" "Yes." "And no memory led you here?" "What do you remember?" Orianthi hesitated. Fragments. Of this place? I don't know. Of me? She thought of the white room, the voice, the unseen hands correcting hers. I don't know. The old man's expression hardened. Not with anger, with understanding. You truly don't remember. That's what I've been telling you. No. He looked past her for a moment, towards something neither woman could see. You don't understand. Calla brought the weapon back up. Then explain it. The old man slowly returned his attention to Orianthi. You were never supposed to forget this much. Orianthi held his gaze. Then tell me what I forgot. He studied her for a moment. You've lived a long life. Orianthi gave him a faint, uncertain smile. I don't think I'd call it that. No? I've survived. Something changed in his expression. Not disappointment. Interest. There's a difference. There is. The old man turned away. He walked slowly between the open capsules, his fingertips brushing one of the ancient shells as he passed. My students used to choose their words carefully. Orianthi watched him. I still do. He looked back at her. No. His voice remained calm. You choose them differently. Calla frowned. You said she was your student. She was. His attention returned to Orianthi. For many years. Orianthi searched his face. What did you teach me? The old man smiled.
Calla's expression hardened. That's not an answer. It is the only answer that matters. He stepped away from the capsule. I did not teach her what to think. His eyes settled on Orianthi. I taught her how. Something stirred deep within her. Not a memory. An instinct. The sentence felt true. The old man saw it in her face. Something survived. Then his gaze dropped to the weapon at Orianthi's side. You carry a weapon. Orianthi rested her hand against it. I've needed one. The old man studied her hand. Against whom? People who wanted me dead. And did you kill them? Orianthi held his gaze. Some of them. I was afraid of that. Orianthi's hand remained on the weapon. I wasn't. The old man looked at him differently then. Not as the student he remembered, as the woman who had survived without him.
Neither man moved. The maintenance interface remained quietly illuminated, silent. Then, a sharp metallic click echoed somewhere deep inside the wall. Another answered. Then another. Harlan slowly looked up. That's not the interface. A low mechanical hum rolled through the corridor. Old. Deep. As though something far beneath them had just awakened. Small indicator lights beside the maintenance panel flickered once, then remained on. Dust drifted from the wall opposite them. Silas frowned. Harlan? A thin line appeared across the ancient surface, almost invisible. The wall wasn't cracking. It was separating. Slowly. Deliberately. Neither man touched the panel. Neither moved. The opening widened just enough for darkness to become shape. Not a room. Something vast. Rows of towering structures disappeared into the darkness above. Silent displays. Dormant consoles. Ancient machinery stretching farther than either man could see. Horland stared. This isn't a maintenance system. One display flickered. Dark again. A second struggled to life. Fragments of letters appeared. Most remained dead. Another relay engaged somewhere inside the immense structure. More segments illuminated. The ward slowly began to take shape beneath decades of dust. Horland narrowed his eyes. O. Another flicker. T. Then E. The final character appeared. Q. Silence. Silas looked at him. OTEQ. Horland never answered. His eyes remained fixed on the ancient display. His expression slowly changed. Recognition. Disbelief. He looked across the immense hidden installation, then back at the name. No. A long pause. This isn't where OTEQ is. He swallowed. This is OTEQ.
The old man regarded Orianthi in silence. His gaze lingered on the weapon at her side before returning to her face. When did you begin carrying it?
A long time ago. Before the collapse? She hesitated. Before most things. He folded his hands behind his back. The gesture stirred something in her. A room. A question she had answered badly. The quiet certainty that he would make her answer it again. Then it was gone. Tell me about the first time you used one, he said. Calla shifted beside her. You don't have to answer that. Orianthi remained silent. I was 17. The old man waited. There wasn't a choice. There is always a choice. Orianthi's eyes hardened. Not where I've lived.
His voice was gentle. The purpose remained the same. He glanced at the weapon. Only the tool changed. Orianthi stared at him. For the first time, she understood what he was doing. He wasn't trying to recover the woman she had once been. He was searching for proof that she had never truly left. And he believed he had found it.
The old man's gaze drifted across the open capsules. When White City was built, it wasn't merely a city. Neither woman interrupted. It was an idea. Calla folded her arms. What kind of idea? That humanity could become more than its fears. Orianthi studied him. Did it? A faint smile touched his lips. For a time. She looked at the dead surrounding them. Then it failed. The old man followed her gaze. No. His voice remained calm. We failed. He placed one hand against the nearest capsule. We believed we had more time. Calla frowned. And now? He looked at both women. Now we know better. The certainty of his answer unsettled Orianthi. You keep saying, we. His expression softened. Because you are one of us. Orianthi shook her head. I don't know who us is. You will. You keep saying that. Because it is true.
I don't remember this place. I don't remember what happened here. I don't remember you. You don't need to. He smiled gently. Memory changes nothing. Orianthi held his gaze. It changed me. The old man's smile remained, but the warmth left it. No. His eyes moved across her face, searching again for the student he remembered. It merely made you forget who you are. Orianthi's hand settled against the weapon at her side. Perhaps you're the one who hasn't understood. He waited. I know who I am. I just don't know who you wanted me to be.
The silence stretched between them. The old man finally spoke. If White City still stands, there is hope. Orianthi looked around the chamber, at the open capsules, at the dead inside them. I don't think hope lives in buildings. He smiled gently. No. His hand rested against the nearest capsule. It lives in what they allow people to become. Orianthi considered his answer. I've seen people build homes from scrap metal. He listened. I've seen strangers die protecting children they didn't know. She thought of Rustbrook. I've seen settlements survive because people chose one another. The old man nodded. Good. The answer surprised her. None of them needed White City. His hand slipped from the capsule. How many of them still exist? Orianthi hesitated. Not many. And the others? Gone. Because they stopped choosing one another? She held his gaze. Because the wasteland took them. Exactly. His voice remained calm. Choice was not enough. Orianthi shook her head. It was all they had. That is not the same thing. It made them human. And still they died. Kala shifted beside her. Orianthi remained still. Everyone dies. Civilization exists so that what we build does not die with us. No. Orianthi looked at the silent capsules surrounding them. Civilization exists because people choose to build it together. The old man followed her gaze. For the first time, the chamber seemed to trouble him. You really have changed. There was no accusation in the words, only grief. Orianthi looked back at him. I had to. The old man said nothing. Somewhere in the chamber, water struck metal with a soft, regular sound. Between one drop and the next, he stopped looking at her as though she might remember. He began looking at her as though she might refuse. Orianthi lowered her eyes. They're my family. The old man nodded slowly. I believe they are. Kala looked surprised. You do? Of course. He looked at Orianthi. They stood beside you when I could not. His gaze dropped. I owe them more than they will ever know. For a moment, Orianthi saw the teacher again. Not the guardian of White City, not the last survivor of a forgotten civilization. A man who regretted being absent. Then something changed. He studied her for so long that she became uncomfortable. You remember none of it. It wasn't a question. No. You remember Rustbrook. Yes. Silas. Yes. Kala. Orianthi nodded. And me? His voice faltered. Nothing. No. The old man closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the grief was gone. In its place was certainty. They didn't merely take your memories. Kala frowned. What?
They left you to build another life in their place. Orianthi stared at him. What are you talking about? He stepped toward her. They buried who you were beneath everything that came after. Another step. You believe that life is who you are. His voice remained gentle, but it isn't. Orianthi stepped back. It is. The old man shook his head. No. His eyes remained fixed on hers. It is only the life you were forced to live. Calla raised her weapon. The grieving teacher was gone. Before her stood a man who believed Orianthi's entire life had been a mistake, and mistakes could be corrected. Neither woman spoke.
The old man regarded Orianthi with quiet sorrow. Then he smiled. Not with triumph, with affection. I know why you cannot believe me. Orianthi said nothing. You've lived too long without us. Calla stepped closer. Leave her alone. He ignored her. You've carried this world for so long that you've forgotten it was never meant to rest on your shoulders. Orianthi shook her head. You still don't understand. No. The answer surprised her. I understand perfectly. He drew a slow breath. And because I understand, I cannot leave you like this. Calla moved closer. What does that mean? The old man finally looked at her. It means I failed her once already. His gaze returned to Orianthi. I won't fail her again. A chill moved through Orianthi. What are you going to do? He looked across the open capsules, at the bodies of those who had waited with him, then back at his student. I will help you remember. Orianthi's expression hardened. I don't want my memories back. The old man blinked, not in anger, in genuine surprise. You don't mean that. I do. No. His voice remained calm. The woman I taught would never choose to remain broken. Something inside Orianthi gave way. I am not broken. Her voice carried through the chamber. The old man regarded her with unbearable sadness. You only believe you are whole. Calla stepped forward. No further. The old man looked at her. For the first time, the affection disappeared completely. Move. Calla planted her feet. No. The old man regarded her in silence. His expression never hardened. It remained almost impossibly gentle. This is not your conversation. Calla didn't lower her weapon. No. A brief silence followed. I understand why you wish to protect her. His voice carried neither accusation nor anger. But this is between Orianthi and me. Calla stepped forward. Not anymore. For the first time, the old man truly studied her. You barely know her. I know her well enough to listen when she says no.
Something shifted in his expression. Not anger. The quiet dismissal of a teacher faced with a student who had misunderstood the lesson. I taught her for centuries. His gaze moved past Calla to Orianthi. I watched her become who she was. A shadow crossed his face. And I will not stand here and watch her disappear. Calla's grip tightened. She's made her choice. No. The answer came without hesitation. She made it with memories that were taken from her. They're still her memories. The old man looked at Calla again. They are fragments left behind by those who destroyed her. Orianthi stepped forward. Stop talking about me as though I'm not here. His expression softened immediately. Then ask her to stand aside. I won't. The old man stared at her. Orianthi held his gaze. She stays. Silence settled between them.
Calla raised the weapon another inch. Take one more step. The old man looked at the rifle, then calmly met her eyes. You mistake that weapon for authority. No. Calla steadied her aim. I know exactly what it is.
The old man considered her for a moment. Then his eyes returned to Orianthi. Stand aside. His voice never rose. It didn't need to. The old man took another step.
Calla kept the rifle trained on his chest. Stop. He didn't answer. He stepped forward again. 10 feet separated them. Then 8. Nothing changed in his expression or his pace. He walked as though Calla were not standing between him and Orianthi. Her finger moved inside the trigger guard. Don't. Still he came. Not faster, not slower. Simply certain that she would move. She didn't. Orianthi felt her pulse quicken. Please. Uncertainty entered her voice. Don't make this worse. His eyes never left hers. I did that long ago. Another step. 6 feet. Calla drew a slow breath. Last warning. The old man finally looked at her. For one brief moment, Orianthi thought he had understood. Then he stepped forward.
Neither man moved. The ancient chamber remained silent. Then, a narrow beam of pale white light swept across the darkness. Harlan instinctively raised an arm. The beam passed over him. His face, his chest, his hands. Gone. Nothing. No sound. No reaction. Harlan slowly lowered his arm. That's it? Silas never answered. The beam returned. This time, it stopped. On him. A second beam emerged from somewhere high above. Then a third. They crossed over him with impossible precision.
Somewhere inside OTEQ, a relay engaged.
One display flickered. Then another. Searching. Scanning. Verifying. Harlan stared. Silas. The chamber grew brighter.
OTEQ had found something.
The displays continued flickering. Lines of text appeared. Vanished. Returned. Each display seemed to be processing a different fragment. Searching. Cross-referencing. Verifying. Neither man spoke. Then, every display froze. One line appeared. Subject detected. A second followed immediately. Legacy profile recognized. Harlan stared at the ancient display. Legacy profile? Silas never looked away. More text appeared. Cross-referencing. The chamber fell silent.
As though OTEQ was comparing Silas against something unimaginably old. Waiting.